So, I'm sure most of you are aware of this by now, but as of today, March 9th, MatPat has officially retired as host of the Theorist channels. And this is just something really important to me. I mean, MatPat is literally one of the YouTubers I've consistently watched throughout my years. Like, he's up there with, like, Markiplier and, like, 8-Bit Ryan and, like, a couple other people, with people that I started watching when I was a kid and just kept on watching it all throughout these years to, like, I'm 17. I've probably been watching MatPat for, what, almost 10 years now? Because, like, I think the first video, or the first couple of videos I ever saw, were like the little mini-series about how Mario is a masochist and how he's the true villain behind the Mushroom Kingdom and how he hates everyone. And, like, those were just so interesting. As a kid, it's one of those things where it's like, it really made you think. And with, like, another series kind of relative to that, it's like the two-parter. And it's like Luigi and Peach had a love affair, and their kid's Rosalina, and, like, Peach is dead. Those were just, they were so cool as a kid. Like, I don't know, it's just something about you drug them in. And I started watching those videos, and game theory as a whole, right around the FNAF time. I think, guesstimating, the first FNAF video I ever watched was the really long, like, hour and 20-minute one about, like, FNAF 2 and 3. And that was just mind-boggling. Like, and that really hooked me. Like, I'm sure I'm with most of people. I know for a fact I'm with most people in this when I say that FNAF is the thing that solidified my interest in game theory. It just drags you in. And I think FNAF was the perfect thing. Like, yeah, game theory, like, they would have still kept going. And other games releasing would have, like, the same shit would have happened. They still would have became as big as they are today. But I think FNAF really gave them a head start and helped them just momentum their channel and allowed them to branch off into bigger, better things, like how they literally have 5 channels, including game theory. Like, I remember when film theory launched with those with the videos about, like, Zootopia and how, like, that the bunny's on crack, or, like, probably one of my favorite film theory videos being the one where what would happen if you eat the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That was just so cool, and that feels like you can sort of see a bridge when it comes to game theory. Like, almost at the beginning of every channel, it's very strange. It's more scientific based, like how old game theory was, where it's like, how fast can Sonic run? How strong is a bullet bill? Like, that kind of stuff. And then as time goes on, you see as people, it kind of shifted. It wasn't more about science, it's more about just, like, games in general and theorizing about them. And yeah, there's still some, like, science stuff thrown in, but it's mainly lore. That's what it is. And, you know, hate to repeat myself over and over again, but it's gonna happen because it's just such a big part of the channels. That's mainly helped by FNAF. I mean, it cannot be understated how much that series helped them grow. Like, it was by far it was basically their canon event. It was their Nexus event. The thing that, rather, like, it was Slender, that was one of my favorite videos that I've had released recently. Like, it's the what if. What if they did Slender? Because it was gonna be, is Slender a Slender Man? That would have, like, that's like a what if, like a Marvel what if scenario. That's really cool, but, like, back to the whole, like, MatPat retiring thing. Is it sad? Oh my goodness. I remember the Saturday, like, a month ago, when he dropped, like, the goodbye internet video. I saw it on Twitter. Like, I saw the thumbnail on Twitter before I saw the video. I'm like, like, this, it's full of shit. Like, this isn't real. But it was. And it's just so sad. It's like, it's gonna be weird. And, like, I'm not saying, like, game theory's not gonna die. There's not a chance. Because MatPat is one of the smartest, just in a business stance, when it comes to YouTube. Like, he picked people he knew would, like, they're kind of like him, but they bring something different. Tom, like the one taking over Game Theory, the British guy who talks funny because he's British, but I like him a lot. He, he's very much a MatPat because like he geeks out about shit. He dives deep into things that don't matter, and that's just, I think that's what made Game Theory so good. It's like what MatPat said in his video. The host doesn't have to be him. What makes it so good is that the host is just like a jokey dude. He just likes to have fun. He makes dad jokes. He says lore a shit ton. He just like geeks out about things, and that's so fun. And like, yeah, part of MatPat's charm is that he's a dad. Like, when MatPat hosted the streamings, that was one of like the coolest things because it was literally like a live action Game Theory episode. Because MatPat's style is very much like dad jokes and that kind of stuff. It's really good. And I think like what people seem to misunderstand about this is that he's just disappearing off the internet. Like, he's right into the sunset, never returning again. That is wrong. In his video, maybe I'm completely misinterpreting this, and I'm just being absolutely stupid. But correct me if I'm wrong. In his goodbye internet video, he's just stepping back. He's basically pulling a Scott Cawthon, like during security breach. He's stepping back, handing the reins over to someone else, and just kind of like working in the background. And this isn't like he's doing no more creative shit. Like, he's not a creator. He's definitely, the things he's talked about, mainly on like GT Lives and film theory, you can see he has an interest in like making something. Maybe that be a movie or like a TV show or like some kind of like ARG website type shit. He's gonna make something because that's what he is at the end of the day. He's a creator. Like, he likes to make stuff. Like, you can tell that because he was a theatrical major. Like, it's just a part of who he is. And I think that just, like, do I think he's never gonna come back? No. But it's like he's coming back eventually. Not like as host, but like a guest cameo appearance. But he's most certainly just like, he's going to be working on the backstage. I'm sure he'll check in on Game Theory now and then, but he's mainly going to be doing different stuff, newer stuff. Maybe things he isn't exactly like in his realm of knowledge. You know what I mean? Stuff that's new to him, completely new, not new at all, that type of thing. And I think, like, it makes sense. Does it suck that, like, literally one of my favorite YouTubers is retiring? Hell yeah. But, like, it makes sense. He's like, what? 30 something? 37? Something like that. He says it in a video, I don't remember. But, like, he's a dad. He has to step back and have a life. When when I first saw that video, I thought it was like Bon Voyage, he's leaving. But no, he's taking a step back, which it's well deserved. 13 years, hard work, consistency, and just like trial and error, creating new channels, branching into new paths. It's a well deserved rest. And I think the people he picked, I think what helps is that the people he picked are already somewhat established. Like Tom, he's been in a crap ton of GT Lives and a few other game theories, like stuff like that. The guy taking over film theory, he's been in a bunch of stuff. The food theory dude, he's fine. Like we've all seen these people in one or two instances, and I think that helps because they're not complete strangers. We kind of have a sense of familiarity to them. Maybe not as familiar as MatPat, but still a sense of, hey, I know you, like that type of thing. And I just think that, like, I don't know, it's gonna be weird. People are gonna be very hesitant because us as humans, we hate change. Like, you can say all you want that, oh, change doesn't affect me. It does, because humans hate unpredictability. with MatPat, everything was sort of consistent. You knew, like, you had at least some general aspect of an idea of what was going to happen. But this is new territory. This is untreaded territory. So, who knows what's really going to happen. But with MatPat, I completely, I trust him as to have picked the right people for the job. Like, that is completely, in his realm. This is his baby. Outside of his actual kid, this is his baby. This is something he's created and just propelled to new heights over the past 13 years. He's not leaving it out to dry. He doesn't seem like that kind of dude. And, you can tell, he cares a lot about, his fan base and, how they feel and how they interact with things. He cares a lot. And I just think that this is him riding into the sunset. His final farewell. And, I think these last, what was it? 9 or 10 videos he released? Especially on Game Theory, were, perfect bookends. With all the other channels, it's kind of been, some of them were, return to forms. Like how Film Theory talked about Gravity Falls again, and how Food Theory kind of went back to the original style. It's what, the fry, the best one, that kind of thing. But Game Theory, it was, this is it. Because you can tell, well, yes, all these other channels are very popular. Game Theory's in it. That's undoubtable. The most people watch Game Theory. So, you can tell, it was focus on this. Give them a proper name. We got the Minecraft, Timeline Complete Edition, which was very much in vain of his Ultimate FNAF Timeline, which I don't exactly agree with that timeline, but goddamn, are those videos entertaining to watch. And then we had things like my favorite one that he released for all of this, the, thank you for the memories FNAF. And, that's what, everyone was questioning. What the fuck? Because he's got to do a FNAF. It wouldn't make sense for him to not do a FNAF one. Because that's his brand, FNAF. And I was thinking, it can't just be, a continuation of the one he did about Hell Wanted 2. Maybe it's, theorizing about Security Breach one last time, or, answering a big question, but that just wouldn't make sense. But what he did was he talked about FNAF's legacy, which just, it makes sense. His legacy and FNAF's legacy go hand in hand. One could not be as popular without the other. It's undoubtable that MatPat and Markiplier, like Jacksepticeye, a few other people, they help FNAF. They push in the new ground. But I think Markiplier and MatPat just were the two main forces that helped FNAF just skyrocket. And it's it made perfect sense. Because with these final rounds, yeah, it's you can tell it's stuff he's wanted to do for a long time. You're gaming wrong. That's a very OG, I'm fuck it, this is it, I'm balling out. Type of thing. Which respect. 1000% I respect that. Because you got an idea, it's your final ride, I'd fucking do it. And then other ones where it's I redid Game Labs, which you didn't know. If you don't know, is his if any of you, I don't know if you're even old enough to remember this, but YouTube Red or something, they gave a bunch of YouTubers series, Logan Paul, shitty movie thing, and a couple other things, but MatPat's was Game Lab, which was real life video games. There was a FNAF one, obviously, a car one, a parkour one, a hacking one, which don't have a baby monitor because people can watch it, I don't know. But he redid that. It's I did this but better. And you can tell it's oh, this is really cool. This is something. This is something he's wanted to do for forever, but they just didn't, it didn't make sense to do. Right? That's just not something you throw in the middle of, just, in the middle of the channel. Just, in the, one of the weeks. Because it wouldn't do well. But, as his swan song, that's pretty fucking cool. And, I'm just, it's so sad about everything. And I'm recording this like the day he drops, like he retires, I'm recording this the day he's done. Last video's up, everything's over, and it's just super sad. And I think everything will be fine. Just because the old videos are still there. I'll also still go back and watch some of my favorites, like the FNAF ones or the ones about the Welp files, which I cannot wait for the next guy on Film Theory to take a look at, like, the Welp files one, like 2, 4, 5, and 6. That's gonna be really cool. But like, people can still go back and watch them if they're feeling like weird or sad or anything about that. And I've had a few watch parties since it. Just like, I'm binging this shit, like, just while I'm like editing a video, drawing frames for a video, making a thumbnail, that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, like, this feels familiar, this feels homey, like everything's coming back together. So I think I want to end this with just one final thought. MatPat, I don't know if you're listening to this. I don't know if you'll ever see this video in the history of ever, but if you do, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. You made my childhood amazing, and I'm sure you've made others just absolutely phenomenal as well. Just thank you for everything you've done, and here's to you, and to whatever you do next. We all know you can do it. You'll do great at it. Bon voyage.